everyone, I'm the Saxophone Oracle. This week we're talking about playing with backing tracks, karaoke saxophone, whatever you want to call it. For me, this is relatively new. So yes, when I grew up, there were play-along CDs we had, but we used them for practice. We never went out and performed with them in public. We didn't post videos anywhere or anything like that. So they were for practice purposes, and on top of that, they were quite expensive. So you only had one or two you'd get every now and again if you really, really felt you needed to play along with a band on a certain song. But I guess about 25 years ago, in North America anyway, there was a huge karaoke craze, and this stuck with us. And nowadays, with the internet, YouTube, it's absolutely everywhere. So if you go into any online saxophone forum, you're going to see hundreds, thousands of people posting videos of themselves playing karaoke saxophone. Personally, I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I cannot stand the idea of playing with backing tracks myself. For me, it's just the idea is so utterly soul-crushing. Okay, like music is a living thing. There's a give and take, whether I'm playing by myself, with a metronome, or with other real-life musicians. There's something happening. There's some kind of movement. There's an energy about it. When you play with a backing track, for me, it's the exact opposite. It sucks everything out of me. I can't stand it. And when I go outside for a walk on a nice summer's day and I hear someone busking with these kind of tracks or whatever it is, it's just, I just cringe and I want to go the other way. But I do understand the appeal. I completely appreciate why people do this. And I am certain, I'm positive that because of this technology, this is encouraging people to pick up and start learning an instrument when they maybe never would have before. And those of us who already played instruments, I'm certain people are getting more enjoyment out of it. They're playing their instruments longer. They're having a better time than they ever would have before. So I think it's simply amazing. Even though it's not for me, I don't enjoy it. I'm all for karaoke saxophone. I think it's absolutely awesome, and I love seeing everyone posting videos of themselves playing online. What I want to address today is two things that I've noticed from listening to all of you in your videos you've posted online. One, I want to talk about the reliance or dependence on the backing track itself. And the second thing, I want to talk about the use of reverb. I feel that many saxophone players are jumping the gun when they start playing with backing tracks. They're relying so heavily on the backing track to keep everything together, to guide them. And what I mean by this is that we're missing two critical elements. One is actually learning and knowing the song well. And the second thing is developing our own sense of time. When I hear people playing with tracks, I often hear hesitancy. I hear things like people being late, playing out of time, behind the beat. I hear things being very ambiguous because people tend to rely and react to the track itself rather than being in command of the song that you're playing. This is really crucial because whether we're playing with a track or we're playing with live instruments, we are responsible for the time, for the rhythm, for the groove. So it doesn't matter if you have drums or a rhythm section behind you. We can't start phoning in our responsibility for the time feel, for the groove, for the rhythm. Let's imagine for a second your sister wants you to play at their wedding with the band they hired, and you've only ever played with the track. Well, then what happens if the band has a different arrangement? Certainly they'll have different instrumentation. What if they played a little bit faster? What if they played a little bit slower? What if you have to play just you and another acoustic guitar player? You might be in a world of trouble unless you really know that song and you're really solid with it and the time. And even if you're playing with a track, let me tell you, the audience can discern when someone is hesitant, when someone is stumbling, all those things. What I'd like you to consider or think about doing is that before you jump straight to practicing a song with a track, is to learn the song. Spend the time necessary to learn the song without any accompaniment, just you and the music or you and the metronome. And then once you've really learned it, internalized it, you feel comfortable with it, then bring in the track. And sure, you're going to notice that with that track, all of a sudden, everything is going to sound so much better. It's going to sound stronger, it's going to sound more confident, it's going to sound more convincing. Reverb. People generally have the tendency to use way too much reverb. Of course, personal taste comes in here. It's all subjective, but generally speaking, there's way too much reverb in the videos I'm seeing. So I want to share with you my thoughts on reverb, and they're really pretty simple. When we record ourselves playing the saxophone, we basically just want it to sound as natural as possible. Picture yourself sitting in a room listening to someone playing saxophone. That's what we want to capture. But when we close mic, that's what it's called when we play with like a clip mic or we record ourselves right into the microphone, we're picking up directly the sound from the instrument, and we're lacking all the natural reverberation we would hear if we were just sitting listening to music in a room. So that's why we want to add reverb a little bit. So imagine yourself playing in a church, and it's a big church, you have tons and tons of reverb, it's really, really wet. Or if you're playing in like the Blue Note Jazz Club in New York City, it's extremely dry because they have all this deadening material, they have carpets everywhere. Ideally, you want something somewhere in the middle, a nice happy medium where it sounds natural, nothing artificial about it. When I record my videos, half the time I don't use any reverb whatsoever. I don't put any kind of treatment on the saxophone. What I do is I set up my microphone and then I stand 6, 7, 8 feet back and I just play. And what you're hearing is the pure sound, my pure sound in the room. I don't know much about recording music. I have the cheapest microphone you could buy on Amazon to record these videos. But I still think it sounds pretty good because at the core of it, I have a decent saxophone sound and I'm not messing with anything. I just want to present you what it is. Now we are talking about karaoke or playing with backing tracks, so I will say this, if you're playing with a track that is just drenched in reverb, then yeah, you're going to probably want to add quite a bit of reverb just so it matches, otherwise it's going to sound like two completely separate things. But other than that, you're aiming for a natural sound. I've recorded myself playing a really short line to use as an example, and I'm going to present it in 3 ways. So the first is going to be completely untreated, just me in the room with the microphone. The second way is going to be with what I would consider an acceptable amount of reverb. And then the third way is going to be what I tend to hear a lot of, which is way too much reverb. So let me know what you think. At the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do. I mean, these are your videos, it's your own personal taste. But please just bear in mind that when you drench your sound in reverb, if you have a bad saxophone sound, adding reverb like that doesn't make it sound any better. It just makes it sound more artificial. To finish up today, I decided I would try my hand at some karaoke saxophone. I'm going to play for you a song called Dos Oruguitas. I believe that, I hope I didn't massacre it. It's from the Disney movie Encanto. I have a 5-year-old daughter, which means since this movie's come out, I've seen it at least 20, 25 times. And whenever this song comes on, it brings a tear to my eye. It's true, and it's to the point where my daughter now makes fun of me. Daddy, are you crying? Are you crying again, Daddy? Daddy, are you crying? I'm dead serious. So this is for my daughter, Dos Oruguitas. I'm the Saxophone Oracle. We're talking about playing with tracks this week. I think it is so awesome that so many of you do this and post yourselves online. It's just amazing. It's fantastic. So I really hope that what I had to share today you found helpful, useful in some way. As always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I love to hear from you, so feel free to leave a comment, drop me an email. Thank you so much for continuing to watch. I wish you a great week. Happy practicing. We'll see you next Tuesday.